Om Sai Ram. Let's meditate today on the glorious form of the Lord, who is in the form of light in front of us. As we meditate, let's bring the body, the senses, and mind under control. To bring our body under control, let's sit straight with both hands resting on our knees and bringing the thumb and index finger together, symbolizing our union with the Lord. Observe your breath, and as you do, repeat the words So hum in your mind. As you fill your lungs with air, breathe in the word so, and then breathe out hum, reminding you of its meaning, God I am. Now, visualize a lit candle in front of you with a gentle flame. Look on the flame steadily for some time. Now close your eyes and try to feel the flame inside you, between your eyebrows. Let the flame slide down into the lotus of your heart. As it enters the heart, imagine that the petals of this lotus unfold one by one, bathing every thought, feeling, and emotion in the light, and removing darkness from them. There is no space for darkness to hide. Imagine the light becoming wider, bigger, and brighter. Let it pervade your hands. Now you can never indulge in dark, suspicious, and wicked activities. These hands have become instruments of light and love. Move the flame slowly down to your feet. This light shines bright in your feet, ensuring that they take you to good places. Let the flame rise up and fill your stomach with this divine light. The light moves over and fills your back and your shoulders. Now, your body is filled with light, which gets brighter and brighter. Take this light to your eyes. As this flame shines bright in your eyes, you will see only what is good. Slowly, take the light to both of your ears and purify them, so that they hear only what is good. Take this light further to the region of your mouth and keep it on your tongue, and be blessed to always speak the truth. And finally, bring this light up to your head. There, the light transforms into a crown, enshrining and covering the head. Let your head be soaked with light, allowing all negative thoughts to flee. Imagine this light in you intensify. Let it shine all around you, and let it spread from you in ever-widening circles. Imagine this flame burning bright within all the members of your family. Imagine this flame burning bright in your neighbors, in the people of your locality, and in your friends and relations. Imagine this flame enveloping your enemies, all strangers, trees, animals, birds, the entire world. Stay in this moment and enjoy the beautiful light permeate the world with love. God, in whichever form you favor, is now no different to this all-pervasive light. This light is God. God is light. Now, when you're ready, slowly open your eyes and enjoy the bliss.
ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। 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 ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात् ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात् ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात् ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
The following video, The Heart of Australia, is a compilation of edited clips from interviews with more than 85 Australian Sai devotees. It is just a taste of the stories that have been gathered with love by the Australian National Archives team over the last few years. The talks are all available on the SSIO Australia website. Swami's story is a tapestry of love stitched together by devotees all over the world. And now we are sharing these stories so that we may love him even more.
Basically, our lives were like, if you got married, if you, matriculation first. I first went to matriculation, did that. I went to university, I had a career, I got married, we had a house, we had a baby. And I followed the intuitive feeling in that after asking Jesus the question about what do you think, should I marry him or him? And sometimes he gave me a feeling of don't go near that person. And anyway, I did this a lot, and I got to the stage when I said to Jesus once, Jesus, I love you, but you walked the earth 2,000 years ago. Isn't there somebody somewhere? God can't have left us bereft. There must be someone. And even though I've done all those things and society says they make you happy, it's not enough. It's not enough. There must be something more than this.
From age to age, from yuga to yuga, the avatars have come to bestow their love and truth upon mankind. Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, and Allah all came to this land. They all brought the message of love. What did we do to earn the grace to even exist on the same plane as the avatar of our times? The man of miracles, the holy man, the embodiment of love, Lord of the universe, Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, Swami.
Drop your bags at the accommodation office and come and sit down. So that's what we did. Drop our bags, ran straight up, sat in line, only to find out that Swami had not yet arrived. Not yet. The moment we sat down on the ground, darshan music played.
Wow.
And off came Swami on the middle patch.
It was almost as if he was waiting for you.
Yes, but what was interesting at that time, I had this feeling that I was home. I never had that feeling before. You know, from young I've been going camping, outdoorsy and all that. Each time I returned home, I never had that feeling. But in Prashanti, when Swami came, he stopped, he looked, the feeling within me came, you are home. And it was a touching feeling.
The very first interview was very, very powerful, because again, as we entered the interview room, he singled me out right in front at his lotus feet. And the first thing he asked me is, what is the meaning of Soham? And I just shrugged my shoulders like a little schoolgirl in front of a teacher. And little did I know, what to say. So I just said, Swami, I don't know the meaning of Soham. I'm sorry. So he said, no, that's okay. And then he pointed to a Westerner in the interview room. She was a single lady. And he said, what's the meaning of Soham? So she said, Swami, I am that. So he said, look, Westerner knows the meaning of Soham. You Hindu, Indian, don't know the meaning. So I felt pretty taken aback, a bit ashamed. Again, shrugged my shoulders like a little schoolgirl. Said, Swami, I didn't know it. So he said, very deeply penetrating into my eyes, his eyes into my eyes, as if the whole world had stopped in front of me. And he said 3 times, I am God, you are God, you can become God. So I said, Swami, I am God, you are God, you can become God. So I said, Swami, how will I become God? Very innocently, because I didn't know any better at that age. I was 31. But I didn't really understand the meaning of how I could be God. And then he whispered to me the 3rd time in 5 letters that no one in the whole interview, 16 of us, the remaining 15, no one could hear or understand what he was telling me. 1-to-1 at his lotus feet. I will make you one.
Knew that it was just like entering this world of wonderment. And
what were your first impressions when you actually saw the form of Swami?
I don't think I had that adoration of the physical as much as it was just the inner belief of the teachings. That I just love the teachings and the tenets of it, and the fact that God is within you, and that all really struck a chord for me. Plus the way he touched people's lives. So I think I wasn't addicted to the form as much as what it all represented, and the goodness and the heart connections, and I just love the teachings and the principles to live by.
Placing your thoughts firmly on me, becoming steadfast with an even mind, and having abandoned the fruits of your actions, you will be free from the fetters of birth. Govinda, Govinda, Moksha, Govinda, 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 Moksha, Gopal, Govinda, Govinda, Moksha, Govinda.
And the value system was all of that. Yeah.
Did you find the teachings different from anything you would have known in your previous Christian world?
Well, I grew up as a Christian. I was a Sunday school teacher. My father, we were all very involved in the church. My grandfather was an elder, so I believed in God. But I've said this in a previous talk I gave at one of the centres. I didn't really know God. But when I went to Sai Baba, I felt like I knew God. It was completely different, and I felt it.
The thing that he said to us, that still rings true for me, because he said, so you're going to America? So we said, no, Swami, To Australia? Oh, Australia. Okay. I'll be there with you all the time. And for us moving to Australia, my parents weren't happy because we had no family here.
Yes.
We know no one.
No one.
Not even a single soul.
No friends, no family.
Nothing. And my parents were quite concerned that we were sort of going to a place where we would have no support.
And so far away too.
And the only person that we knew was Swami.
Do you think it has made a difference at all?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, it's any step of what we are doing today. Any small thing you buy, we just come, Swami, bless it. We know that Swami, without Swami, we are nothing.
So you have an idea that He's with you in everything you do. Is that
Definitely, He is always with us. He's always with us. And in my difficult time, because everybody have a easy time, happy time, difficult time. In all my difficult time, He carries me.
He carries you.
He carries me and He put me down. Okay, now the good time started. And every bad time, every, down when you're going something in downward, He will carry you. He will carry you.
darkest of nights, your light still surrounds me. When deep in the water, your waves hold me up, and I won't sink down. I know you've got me, and I know when I'm alone, you are the voice that brings me home, and I'm aware when things are clear. You fill my mind with wonder. You are the golden sun, my love, the moon and stars held up in the sky that lights the path to you. To you, Lord, to you, Lord. The sun rises and sets with you. We all rise and set with you. And when I just wanna know you more, I just listen out for your call, Lord, Lord, Lord. you more. I take in all the life you formed. The earth will tell us how to live. You gave us everything, and we thank you. Swami, you are in our hearts, I'm sure, just waiting to enlighten our souls. You are the dweller of our hearts and every single part of this world. And I know when I'm alone, you are the voice that brings me home. And I'm aware when things are clear, you fill my mind with wonder. You are the golden sun, my love, the moon and stars held up in the sky that lights the path to you. To you, Lord. To you, Lord.
Well, I think that would have to be the very first time I went to the ashram for Shanti
When
Nilayam.
was that?
1995. How I got there was pretty amazing and special.
Yeah.
But actually, I suppose what I can honestly say with the physical form is that I'd been to one bhajans and I didn't understand a word, and what had really prompted me to go was somebody I knew had been and said, this is a real spiritual teacher. I'd been searching for an awfully long time and been pretty disillusioned actually, and to be honest, I remember actually saying to myself, I have to find God by myself. There's nobody who lives like Jesus on earth. I'd looked so hard and so far, wide, overseas, everywhere, trying to find somebody who was real, and I'd given up, totally given up.
So how long had you been searching?
To be honest, I also feel that it was from a child, but I hadn't actually acknowledged that. I was born in East Africa, in Kenya they call it now, and I was born in the middle of the Mau Mau uprising.
Yeah.
So it was a very fraught time for anyone who had my skin colour, and I was privileged to go to Church of England. I was privileged to go to a Catholic convent. It was Loreto Convent, Musangari, and I remember, because I was Church of England, I wasn't allowed in the church services, but I used to go up and sit on the steps just to listen, because I was so drawn. I wanted to go in, but we weren't allowed. And I also remember I wanted to be a nun, like the nuns, because they were devoted. They just loved God. They loved Jesus. And I was just little. I was a little person. So I think it was from when I was a child. So yes, and I'd become quite disillusioned by some of the packaging of the formal religions in a way. I was more after a feeling on the inside.
So it wasn't personal? It wasn't personal?
No, because you know, I love the stories of Jesus. I particularly love the stories of Jesus who was so loving to the poor and the sick and the outcast, and who loved animals. I always had that image of him carrying the lamb. You know, we used to have pictures of that, whether it was real or not, but to me it was very real. However, I went to church schools, you know, and I had my mum was a very spiritual lady in many ways, but we didn't sort of go to church every week, but she used to teach me about Jesus since I was very young, and I loved Jesus so much. But the teaching in the church and the teaching in religious instruction at school, it put God in a cloud in the sky somewhere, watching the sparrows fall, watching everything we do. And so I wasn't taught that I could actually have an intimate relationship with Jesus or with God myself. It was always through a a priest or or someone else. So I think there was something in me that longed to have been alive at the time of Jesus, so I could feel what he was like and be there with him. So I think there was definitely a searching, and I'd started an interest. I'd become quite interested in Eastern philosophy. The New Agey stuff was out there then, and I'd rush off to all these courses and find myself or my husband's bank reduced by thousands of dollars over periods of time, which wasn't very fair, but I was so hungry for knowledge.
So these things cost you a lot of money,
Yes, and it was very disillusioning, because people speak with beautiful words. However, then you find suddenly that actually they're either not living it, or they're actually there for the money or the influence or the power or even relationships. And it just disillusioned me. So that's what I said, I can't do this anymore. I have to find God by myself. And I just decided that.
And yet you heard about Sathya Sai Baba and you had to go.
Well, I don't want to take too long to say it, but what happened was the girl I'd known, I'd been doing courses with her, she got disillusioned as well. And I didn't speak to her for about probably 9 months. And suddenly she phoned me up, she said, I've just come back from India. And she said, I've been to this Sathya Sai Baba, he's real. And I thought, actually, I was worried about her. I thought, oh no, we're going to be, she's going to be disillusioned again. Oh no. And I was warning her, I was saying, look, please be careful. You know that people can speak beautiful words, say all the things, but they're not real. And she kept saying, no, he's real, I'm telling you he's real. And she sent me this piece of paper, and look, at this, I'll be honest and say at this point I was thinking, no, I don't want to go there again. I'd been too disillusioned. But she sent me something that he'd said, and it just went straight into my heart.
Can you remember what it was? I
can remember part of it, and these were the words, and they do still move me quite deeply, so forgive me. Yes, and I'm sorry, it does move me still. He said, there is one caste, the caste of humanity. There is one language, the language of the heart, and there is one religion, the religion of love. And that was so profound. And then at the bottom she'd written something else that he'd said somewhere else, or that she remembered, along the lines of, if you have a faith, follow your faith, and respect the faiths of others, insofar as they do not cause disunity amongst men. Now, for me, growing up in East Africa, where I was taught to be afraid of anyone of who had a different skin colour, where I was taught that we couldn't answer the front door, we had bars on the windows, I wasn't allowed to play with the children that I wanted to play with. This was like, I can't even explain it. This was the most beautiful, soul-uplifting words I could have read. So yeah,
wow.
that pulled me.
So it was the teachings that drew you.
Yeah.
And so what was it like when you actually had that physical darshan?
Well, I'll just go back to where I was taken. I joined a group. I didn't know anybody. I knew nothing about him at all, really. I'd been to one bhajan and thought, this really doesn't...
This is bhajan in Australia?
I went in Melbourne, one bhajan in Melbourne, and it was different. I'd just come from a High Church of England church service the Wednesday before, and this was Sunday, and I'd gone really because I suddenly got myself nervous that I was going off, and maybe it was a cult. I'll be honest with you. Maybe it was a cult, maybe I was being naive again, maybe I was going to be disillusioned again. I mean, to leave your husband and your little child, your children, everybody, suddenly say you're going to India is quite strange.
Yes.
So it was a strong pull that I'd had, and that's another story. But so I joined this group, and interestingly enough, at that stage, we didn't have much money, and to go on this group, I had been told I needed a certain amount of money, and I didn't know if I was going to get it. But just after I put my name down, on the following, that was, I don't know, whatever, 3 days later, I received a present in the mail from my godmother who lived in England, and she'd posted it 6 months before. It'd taken 6 months to get, And when I opened it, she'd given me the gift of the money. Okay, sorry. Anyway, yes. So arriving inside the ashram in a little bus, I didn't know what to expect. And as soon as I got down out of the steps in the little bus, all I could feel was the peace. And it was so strong, you could almost touch it in the air. And I felt it so deeply. And then we went for darshan. I shouldn't do this. We went for darshan, which was when Sai Baba actually came through into the hall, and he walked amongst the people. And again, I knew nothing to expect. I didn't know anything. But as soon as I saw him, spontaneously my hands went like this, by themselves, and I just, the floodgates, I just, they weren't sad tears. They were like tears of coming home. Like I could feel his love, the way he walked amongst the people with so much tenderness and so much love, and it wasn't acting, it was real, and it was as though he floated, it was as though he didn't. It was bizarre because I used to look at his feet, and his feet, he was, however old he was, in 95, but his feet weren't calloused or he's in India. You'd think they'd be dried out and all calloused because they all wear bare feet. No, they were soft, and so he didn't really touch the ground in a way, but he did. You could see him. But yeah, so yeah, that was.
So it affected you on a personal, deep level.
Very, very deeply, and I felt when I was there, I just knew that this was beyond my even hopes and or dreams of any aspiration. And my mind would go really still and quiet, believe it or not. I would also not even speak. And yes, it was just the presence. It was his presence. I wasn't so interested, but actually in the miracles or in the manifestation. That wasn't what I was looking for. I was looking for the truth. I was looking for what I felt. And that's what I received.
So you had the very first darshan of Sathya Sai. The impact was to accept him as a divine being. Would that be putting the words in your mouth?
It could only be that, and yet, because of the upbringing I'd had with Jesus and my Church of England background, at the time when I was with him, totally I accepted he was. There was, the head wasn't there. He was something beyond anything I'd ever experienced, and I'd been to the Dalai Lama, who I also love. This was even more profound and more powerful than that. Yes, it was only later when I returned back to Australia that my mind started, how can you do this spontaneously all the time to this holy man when Jesus is meant to be the only one? So I struggled with that. However, what I did when I got home is I read only his discourses for 7 years. I read nothing else, nothing. I just read his discourse. I wanted the truth. I wanted from his words. Didn't want other people's impressions or interpretations.
And you found the truth? Reading the discourses?
They were the most profound teachings I had ever come across. Because they resonated with, for me, they resonated with such deep, profound wisdom of truth.
So we're needing to wind up this interview, unfortunately, but I'd love to hear from you. In what way do you think knowing this, having that experience with the form and then the teachings, what difference, what impact has it made to your life? In what way has it changed it?
Absolutely profound. One of the most important differences is I lived with fear and anxiety my whole life, not knowing if I was going to be killed or stolen away or the house broken in. You know, like we grew up with that fear.
In
Africa. In Africa. And I couldn't even go and answer the door by myself. I had to always get someone. So there was always that apprehension. And I didn't realise how much it had impacted. But since I went to Swami, I don't have the fear now. And I can love. I feel like I've been given permission to love anyone, anything, anywhere, at any time. That was the most profound gift that I could be given, because I didn't have to feel separate anymore. I could feel I belonged to humanity, to the earth, that everything became... I just was able to let go of fear. And I can honestly say that. And the other thing was, I was shown how incredible it is to be able to give back, because the service projects, the water projects, the school projects, the hospital projects, the feeding of the poor, the caring with such love. I sat with the crowds of people, with people who were so poor materially and so rich spiritually, and so yeah, it completely changed my life. Later, a whole family went. And I can only say thank you Swami, thank you Sai Baba. I'm still, learning.
God walked the earth, and we were here. Just as in the Mahabharata, just as in the Bible, there are multitudes of stories of the people who were a part of the legends. How blessed we are to have been able to capture the truth of who you were. There is nothing hidden in the mists of time. There is nothing that is up for conjecture. We were here. We are here. The devotees of Australia have our own story to tell about you, Swami. This is the heart of Australia, and this is our offering to the Avatar, to Sathya Sai Baba, to Swami.
जय गणेश पाहि मां श्री गणेश रक्ष मां जय गणेश पाहि मां जय गणेश पाहि मां श्री गणेश रक्ष मां जय गणेश पाहि मां श्री गणेश रक्ष मां जय गणेश रक्ष मां जय गणेश
अरुणारमणा श्री गुरुदेवा अरुणारमणा श्री गुरुदेवा अरुणारमणा श्री गुरुदेवा अरुणारमणा श्री गुरुदेवा शेषारमणा सद्गुरुदेवा शेषारमणा सद्गुरुदेवा शेषारमणा सद्गुरुदेवा शेषारमणा सद्गुरुदेवा अरुणारमणा श्री Shankar Namami Shankar Shiva Shankar Shambho
Without singing to the Lord, there's no peace or happiness.
Without singing to the Lord, there's no peace or happiness.
Without singing to the Lord, there's no peace or happiness.
Without singing to the Lord, there's no peace or happiness.
Without praising His name, there's no feeling of bliss.
Without praising His name, there's no feeling of bliss.
Without praising His name, there's no feeling of bliss.
Without praising His name, there's no feeling of bliss.
With no love and devotion, we never will be free.
With no love and devotion, we never will be free.
With no love and devotion, we never will be free.
With no love and devotion, we never will be free.
Without service to Him, no salvation can there be.
Without service to Him, no salvation can there be.
Without serving mankind,
Without serving mankind, no salvation can there be.
Without singing to the Lord, there's no peace or happiness.
Without singing to the Lord, there's no peace or happiness.
We find union with Him when our minds are at rest.
We find union with Him when our minds are at rest.
We find union with Him when our minds are at rest.
We find union with Him when our minds are at rest.
The best wisdom is seeing the Lord everywhere.
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 The most righteous of deeds shows compassion and care.
The most righteous of deeds shows compassion and care.
The most righteous of deeds shows compassion and care.
The most righteous of deeds shows compassion and care.
There is no one as near and as dear as the Lord.
There is no one as near and as dear as the Lord.
There is no one as near and as dear as the Lord.
There is no one as near and as dear as the Lord.
He is present in all and in all can be adored.
He is present in all and in all can be adored.
He is present in all and in all can be adored.
He is present in all and in all can be adored.
Without singing to the Lord, there's no peace or happiness.
Without singing to the Lord, peace or happiness.
Without praising His name, there's no feeling of bliss.
Without praising His name, there's no feeling of bliss.
With no love and devotion, we never will be free.
No love and devotion, we never will be free.
Without service to Him, no salvation can there be.
Without service to Him, no salvation can there be.
Without serving mankind, no salvation can there be.
Without serving mankind, no salvation can there be.
Without singing to the Lord, there's no peace or happiness.
Without singing to the Lord, there's no peace or happiness.
We find union with Him when our minds are at rest.
We find union with Him when our minds are at rest.
The best wisdom is seeing the Lord everywhere.
The best wisdom is seeing the Lord everywhere.
The most righteous of deeds shows compassion and care.
The most righteous of deeds shows compassion and care.
There is no one as near and as dear as the Lord.
There is no one as near and as dear as the Lord.
He is present in all and in all can be adored.
He is present in all and in all can be adored.
He is present in all and in all can be adored.
He is present in all and in all can be adored.
Without singing to the Lord, there's no peace or happiness.
Govinda Krishna Jai, Gopala Krishna Jai, Gopala Bala Bala Radha Krishna Jai. Govinda Krishna Jai, Gopala Bala Bala Radha Krishna Jai. Govinda Krishna Jai, Gopala Krishna Jai, Gopala Bala Bala Radha Krishna Jai. Govinda Krishna Jai, Gopala Krishna Jai. Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna 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 Jai. Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna 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 Jai. Gopika Mala Hari Hari Pyari Mai Meera Manavihari Madana Mohana Murali Dhari Krishna Jai. Govinda Hari Pyari Mai Meera Manavihari Madana Mohana Murali Dhari Krishna Jai. Govinda Hari Pyari Mai Meera Manavihari Madana Mohana Murali Dhari Krishna Jai. Govinda Hari Pyari Mai Meera Manavihari Madana Mohana Murali Dhari Krishna Jai. Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna 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 Jai. Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna 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 Jai. Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna 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 Jai. Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna 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 Jai. Krishna Jai, Rama Krishna Jai, Radha Krishna Jai, Bala Krishna 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 Jai. Krishna Jai, Rama Krishna Jai, Radha Krishna Jai, Bala Krishna 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 Jai. Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna 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 Jai. Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna 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 Jai. Govinda Krishna Jai, Gopala Govinda Krishna Jai, Gopala Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna 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 Jai.
Om Tat Sat Shri Narayana Tu Purushottama Guru Tu Siddha Buddha Tu Skanda Vinayaka Savita Pavaka Tu Savita Pavaka Tu Brahmamasta Tu Yava Shakti Tu Yeshu Pita Prabhu Tu Rudra Vishnu Tu Rama Krishna Tu Rahim Tao Tu Rahim Tao Tu Vasudeva Govind Swarupa Tu Chidananda Hari Tu Advitiya Tu Akala Nirbhaya Atmalinga Shiva Tu Atmalinga Shiva Tu Atmalinga Shiva Tu.
Christian prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Muslim prayer. In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, praise be to God, the cherisher and sustainer of the worlds. Most gracious, most merciful, master of the day of judgment. You do we worship, and your aid we seek. Show us the straight way, the way of those on whom you have bestowed your grace, those whose potion is not wrath, and who go not astray. Buddhist refuges. I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in the Sangha. Hindu prayer. The universal teacher is the creator. The universal teacher is the protector and sustainer. The universal teacher is the Almighty. The universal teacher is verily the supreme unmanifested one. To that Guru we offer our prostrations. Zoroastrian prayer. Just as the will of the ruler of the universe is supreme, so is the spiritual teacher supreme through his asha. The gifts of good mind are for those who do good deeds in the name of Mazda. The strength and power of Ahura are given to him who renders help and shelters the poor and needy. Jewish prayer. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. You shall love God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your resources. Let these matters which I command you today be upon your heart. Teach them thoroughly to your children, and speak of them while you sit in your home, while you walk on the way, when you retire, and when you arise. Amen.
ప్రేమ స్వరూపులారా,
embodiments of love.
ఏ మానవుడు తన యందున్నటువంటి ఆత్మ పరలో యందున్నటువంటి ఆత్మ ఒక్కటే అని విశ్వసించును,
The person who understands and experiences the divine spirit in him, being very much same in others,
అట్టివాడు గృహస్థుడైన,
such a person, be it a householder,
విరక్తుడైన, రక్తుడైన,
a renunciant or the one attached,
అట్టి మనిషి యందు నిరంతరము భగవంతుడు నివాసుడై ఉంటాడు.
such a person will have God installed in his heart all through.
తానే భగవంతుడిగా మారుతాడు.
He himself gets transformed into the divine.
భగవంతుని తత్వమును ఎవరునూ గుర్తించలేరు.
No one can comprehend the divinity in full.
కానీ అనేక మంది విమర్శిస్తురు, కానీ ఈ విమర్శల కంటే అర్థం చేసుకున్నటువంటి వారు చాలా అదృష్టవంతుడు.
Though they try to analyze and investigate, very few understand it in true spirit.
Tat Savitum Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Bhuvassuvaha Tat Savitum Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Bhuvassuvaha Tat Savitum Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Bhuvassuvaha Tat Savitum Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Bhuvassuvaha Tat Savitum Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्
The Lord of the universe is here. Swami Sathya Sai is here. Come to send devotees everywhere. Come to bless His children everywhere. Born at Puttaparthi, the Lord of the universe is here. Calm and tranquil like the moon, shining with divine inner light, filling all with bliss at His side. He is always serving those in need, answering the prayers of devotees, giving grace to you and me. The Lord of the universe is here. Sai, you are Guru God Himself. Mother, you are everything to us. Father, you are everything to us. You are the divine primal energy, manifests all that we ever see. You are the one reality. The Lord of the universe is here. Sai, with the sacred form of Om, universal radiance divine, please accept this offering of mine. The flame of love that burns within my heart, meaning we can never be apart. You and I are ever one. The Lord of the universe is here. Narayana Narayana Om, Sathya Narayana 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 Om, Narayana Narayana Om, Sathya Narayana Narayana Om, Sathya Narayana Narayana Om. The Lord of the universe is here. Narayana Narayana Om, Sathya Narayana 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 Om, Narayana Narayana Om, Sathya Narayana Narayana Om, Sathya Narayana Narayana Om. The Lord of the universe is here. Narayana Narayana Om, Sathya Narayana 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 Om, Narayana Narayana Om, Sathya Narayana Narayana Om, Sathya Narayana Narayana Om. The Lord of the universe is here. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samastalokaः Sukhino bhavantu. Samastalokaः Sukhino bhavantu. Samastalokaः Sukhino bhavantu. He